Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and my name is Siri. In this video, we are going to talk about a very common topic and an important topic when it comes to being fluent in English, and that is fear of speaking in English. All of us do have this fear of speaking in English, especially when we are beginners or when we are in the stage of learning. It's very much obvious. And we all want to overcome this fear of speaking in English. We all want to sound confident and be confident whenever we are trying to speak in English. And that's what we are going to talk about in today's video as well. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. So there are two fears here. Fear number one is that fear of making mistakes while speaking in English. Fear that what if the other person is going to think that we do not know a lot of English? What if the other person is going to judge me about my English? That is fear number one. Now, fear number two is that we are not sure about the result. When we are practicing, we self-doubt a lot. We think that, okay, if I practice for 6 months, am I actually going to be fluent in English after 6 months? That's what we think in the process of learning English, and these two fears are very much obvious. That's completely normal. And of course, everybody will experience this fear in the process of learning English. I just want to tell you something, that first accept it, because fear is going to teach you something. Fear will let you speak carefully. Fear can act in two ways in your life. Either it can take control of all your life, or you can take control of your fear, and you have to know when to use it and when not to use it. Now, for example, when I made my first ever YouTube video, you don't know the amount of fear I had inside my heart. I did not know how the video is going to be. I did not know how everything is going to be. But that does not mean that even now I have that fear inside my heart. I do have like little bit whenever I'm sitting or whenever I'm starting to shoot a new video. Of course, there is going to be that fear inside my heart, but that is in my control. When I shot the video for the first time ever, at that point of time, I was in the control of fear, because of which I was of course not able to deliver every single thought that was there in my mind. Now I have a control on fear, because of which I am not only able to deliver all my thoughts, I'm also able to deliver some extra points which I get to think on the spot. So that's how it acts. You definitely need to have that fear, because it keeps you in control. It keeps reminding you that you got to speak carefully, because when you speak, it's very important that you speak carefully, right? So all you have to make sure is that do not let fear control you, but you control your fear. You have to take a control of everything in your life. You cannot let anything control you, especially these emotions, fear, sadness, and all that. You cannot let these take control over you. So you have to be really, really careful with this. And I know it sounds boring when I say this, that with practice you will get better. The first time when you speak out, of course you are not going to sound perfect. You are not going to be the number one person in the room. You are not going to be the best speaker. That is obvious. It's we who expect ourselves to be like that. So just keep your expectations aside. When you are speaking in English for the first time, your expectations need to be in certain way that, okay, even if I fumble now, even if I speak out few mistakes, even if I fear now, it's fine. I am going to learn something. If you have certain amount of assumptions regarding this way, it will help you a lot, because I've always been telling you guys that mindset plays a very important role. No matter how much you learn practically, theoretically, it does not matter until you have the right kind of mindset when it comes to being fluent in English. When you have a lot of expectations upon you right in the beginning, they are going to disappoint you, and they are going to make you fear even more to speak in English. When you have this this intention that okay, it's okay if I fear for the first time, because that's quite normal. It does not happen only with me. It happens to everybody who speaks in English, to everyone who is trying to learn English from scratch. If you have this kind of mindset, it will teach you something valuable, because I truly believe that there is always going to be something that you can learn from every single experience of your life. If I have to just simply compare it with an example, for example, let's say you are climbing a mountain. So when you climb a mountain for the first time, you are of course going to be very scared to climb that mountain, because that's first time for you, right? So when you climb a mountain, you are going to face a lot of situations. Let's say at the end you have climbed the mountain and you came down. The second time you had to climb the mountain again. So now when you climb the mountain the second time, you know what precautions to take. You know that the fear is going to be of much level compared to the first time. So that's what is going to happen in English as well. First, we just need to gather that courage to just speak out first. You just speak out first. Whatever has to happen, it will happen. Okay. First, you just speak out. You know what's more dangerous? If you do not speak with that fear, if you are just trying to be scared all the time, if you're just trying to be nervous all the time, and you're just not gathering that courage to speak out, that is just going to make you fear even more, because you haven't experienced speaking out with fear, no? So if you keep that fear inside your heart all the time without even speaking one single time, it is going to make you fear more and more and more, which is the worst thing that can happen to you. I'm just suggesting you that okay, it's okay if you face that fear. I used to have that a lot. Even now, whenever I speak in English, I do have that fear inside my heart, but you just need to make sure that it is in your control. Your fear is in your control. It should teach you something. That's it. If you have that fear, take that one step. Just first time you are just going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but the next time you are of course going to be all right. And with time you are going to learn a lot, because in my opinion, fear is the best teacher. Fear, failure, these are all best teachers. They are going to teach you a lot in your life, something that you will not expect. So gather that courage and speak out whatever you know. Okay, speak out whatever you know. If you do not speak out with that fear, you are not going to learn anything. You are not letting any kind of opportunities to flow in. When you speak out, that's when you would know your capability. That's when you would know where you need to correct yourself. And that's the most important thing, right? So this is about fear number one, right? Talking about fear number two is about we are not sure about our practice. We are always thinking, we're always scared of our practice, that okay, if I practice for 6 months, am I actually going to be fluent in English? I used to have this doubt a lot. But later I have realized that if I keep thinking this way without practicing, it actually does not make any kind of sense. I'm just thinking that okay, if I practice, am I going to be fluent in English? What if that doesn't happen? What if this doesn't happen? So I'm like questioning a lot. I'm just trying to question myself a lot all the time, which is of course not helping me in any kind of way. But instead, if I practice, in the process, I'm anyhow going to figure out if this method is going to work for me or not. And I've always been telling you that English is not like a lottery. It's not like you buy a ticket and then you are like very much scared that is my name going to be there in that ticket? Am I going to win the lottery? Is my lottery going to be a lot of worth or what? It's not going to be like that. English language is not like that, right? It's a simple process, practice and speak, as I mentioned in my previous video. So there is no point of always questioning yourself about the practice that you do. Instead of putting that effort to question yourself or self-doubt all the time, you can just simply put the same kind of or same amount of efforts into the practice and see how much things are going to change with you. And the main reason for us to feel this fear is of course the expectations that we have. We expect ourselves to be perfect when we speak. we expect the results to be flowing in a perfect manner. Remember that nobody is perfect. You already know this. I don't even have to tell you this. I've mentioned this a lot of times in many of my videos itself. We cannot be perfect all the time. And the results that you are going to expect are also not going to be perfect all the time. You are just a learner. We are all learners. We got to learn something every single day. That's the only thing you have to remember. And expectations, they are not going to do any kind of good for you. So do not ever try to have a peak level expectation right in the beginning, because it is going to disappoint you, and with disappointment you will not get that motivation to speak more, and that's what is just going to lead you to not to speak more, right? So at the end, you definitely need not to put any kind of expectations on your result or on yourself. You only need to expect an improvement in yourself, but not the perfection. Perfection might happen eventually, but it happens when we do not expect it to happen. When we expect ourselves to improve every single day, that's when perfection flows into our life. Okay, so that's what I really wanted to tell you in today's video. Do not have that expectation that, okay, on the first day itself I got to speak in English in a perfect manner, I have to impress every person. That's not going to happen. You are speaking for yourself. You have to learn for your own self, and you have to remain as a learner no matter what. 2 years down the line, you of course got to be a learner again. It's not like you learn for 2 years and then you're absolutely going to be perfect. No, it's not like that. You have to be a learner 2 years down the line as well. So remember that. So that's what I really wanted to share in today's video. I hope you guys liked this video. I really wanted to share these thoughts because, as I always believe in, mindset is important. Carry a positive attitude, carry a positive mindset. They are going to add up a lot to your fluency, a lot to your practice. Do not ever ignore them or neglect them. Do not ever do that. So give importance to your mindset, not only towards practical knowledge or theoretical knowledge. You definitely got to give a lot of importance to your mindset and to yourself, how you feel, how you need to overcome them. All that are also very much important. So that's it. That's all for the video. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a like and share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And do let me know in the comment section, how did you like the video? I would love to read your comments. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys very soon. Till then, you take care. I will see you soon.